Good evening and blessings to everybody out there. What's going on? It's your man, Rod Hickman, generational wealth builders where poverty ends with us. Listen, just wanted to get on real quick tonight just to talk for a few minutes. And I know, y'all always hear me say I'll be on for a few minutes. But again, this is just going to be some great information that I want to share with you all on tonight. As y'all can see, we're starting to get settled into our new digs. Again, still got a few things that we want to add here to the office. And we're actually talking about giving me a studio, y'all. So I think I might be big time. I ain't gonna say I'm gonna be acting funny, but you never know. All right. So listen, I want to talk tonight. And as you can see, the title of tonight's talk is about the power of new life insurance, right? The power of new life insurance. And so again, now's the time. If you got a friend or whatever, go ahead on and like and share this video at this time. We definitely appreciate that. Listen, so let's talk about the new life insurance. So in order to talk, before I talk about the new, I have to talk about the old life insurance. And so in our world, in our industry, what we find out is that life insurance, if should support your life, right? Life insurance was designed to replace income. It was designed to ensure that a family that suffered a loss would be what's called indemnified. And so what happens is the insurer basically says, based on this premium that you pay me, we're going to turn around and God forbid if something happens, boom, we're going to make you whole, or we're going to indemnify you, meaning we're going to give you X amount of dollars based on the agreement that we had. Does that make sense? That is in a long story short, that is what insurance is. And so whether it's car insurance, mortgage insurance, homeowners insurance, that's what insurance is all about. Now, with that being said, this is where we're going to talk about. The old life insurance has been the type of insurance that would only kick in when you die, right? The insurance that only kicks in when you die, right? So one type of insurance is what they call final expense insurance, right? Man, putting these words together kind of messing with me. I'm trying not to drool in here. But final expense insurance is basically insurance that only pays out when you die. There are no frills, there are no thrills to it. You die, they pay out. That's basically what it boils down to. Now, but when it comes to the insurance to protect your family, this is really what I want to talk about today. I put a post out there this morning. It's just been something that's on my heart. I believe that every family should have a minimum of $500,000 worth of life insurance, right? And the only reason why I say a minimum, that's not even considering if you're a homeowner or anything like that. Bare bones, every person should have at least $1 million. Every working person should have at least a $500,000 policy. Every child should have at least $250,000 on them with the new insurance. Now, let me tell you why. With the old insurance, and this includes the insurance that's on your job, this includes insurance that you get from bundles. If y'all could catch my drift, basically what's going to happen is it really only pays out if you die, right? And that's not life insurance, that's actually death insurance. And that is the old form of insurance that's out there. So, but you're like, well, hey, Rod, but I thought that that's what it's supposed to do. Well, that's just like when you, what was it? The Model T. When the Model T first came out, everybody thought that was the rage, right? That's what everybody had because everybody was driving. But guess what happened? Competition came in, and then the Model T started losing steam. Now we started getting other vehicles based on competition. Well, guess what? Life insurance did the exact same thing. And we have what's called the new insurance. And the new insurance is the type of insurance that will allow you to benefit from the insurance while you're still alive. And so with that being said, that's what I want to talk about tonight, because typically I see a lot of clients and a lot of prospective clients that what they're doing is they're like, well, hey, man, I got a cancer policy, or hey, man, I got a stroke policy, and hey, and plus I got life insurance. And again, I'm not knocking those policies, right? Because I can write them. I'm actually licensed and appointed to write them. I can write those policies. But here's the thing about me. I prefer to give my clients the overall best value. And what does that mean? So when it comes to the new life insurance, what makes the new life insurance the new life insurance? It's called living benefits, right? Living benefits are what make the new policy. Now, Rod, what are the living benefits? I'm glad you asked. Living benefits are basically riders on the policy that will, in the case of certain conditions, it will turn around and give you money directly from your policy while you're still alive. Yes. So that's what I'm going to talk about a little bit tonight. We're going to talk about those living benefits, or hashtag living bennies. Right now, think about it like this. One of the categories that pay out for the living benefits, or what's known as the accelerated death benefit rider. One of them are terminal illness. The other one is chronic illness. The other one is critical illness. And then we even have a carrier that also provides a rider for the critical injury. So we have the terminal illness, the chronic illness, the critical injury, and the critical illness. And I even have a carrier that if someone develops Alzheimer's, now they have to have the policy beforehand. But if they develop Alzheimer's, that's also accelerated death benefit rider. So let's talk about what that means. So when it comes to the terminal illness rider, and I guess I can share this screen. I really didn't want to share it. But the terminal illness rider, if you are given a terminal prognosis, like, again, it's all bad, the doctor come in shaking his head like, right? Call in the priest, whatever the case may be. If that happens, then what the terminal illness rider is going to do, it's going to turn around and give you anywhere from 75 to 80 up to all of your death benefit while you're still alive. Why is that important? That's important because when someone gets sick, and this is what I need y'all to think about. Now, I'm not fear-mongering. I'm just telling you what happens and how people are not prepared. So what happens is something happens, whatever the case may be, it happens. And when that happens, you now have this prognosis. Or maybe it happens and you can't go back to work, right? What will happen is once you get that diagnosis, if you have the new insurance, at that point in time, you reach out to Rod Hickman's Generational Wealth Builder if you're one of our clients. And then we're going to reach out to the carrier. We're going to work with your doctor or the person that's providing you the treatment. And that's how we're going to get you a check. Now, when it comes to terminal, it could be anything that's, where they're saying, ain't no coming back from this, right? That's helpful because, again, people want to get their affairs in order. Now, that's terminal, right? Our carriers, follow me now, our carriers go out 2 years, meaning if you get a terminal diagnosis, they're going to give you that money 2 years. Or if they give you 2 years to live. Most of my competitors are anywhere from 4 to 6 months. So basically, you got to have 1 foot in the grave and 1 foot out. Our carriers give you up to 24 months. That's huge, right? That is huge because that allows you to be able to do what you need to do, right? Not you have to be within 4 to 6 months. So that's one of the benefits that we have. When it comes to the chronic illness, right? Let's say somebody has a chronic illness. And the way our chronic illness, you qualify for that. If you cannot perform 2 out of the 6 activities of daily living. Now, those activities are bathing yourself. If you can't control your bowels, if you can't dress yourself, if you can't eat, if you can't go to the toilet by yourself, if you can't get out of the bed by yourself, right? If you cannot perform 2 of the 6 activities of daily livings for a period of 90 days or more, the carrier is going to turn around and they're going to give you up to 80% of that death benefit, or all of it, depending on the situation. Does that make sense? So think about this, folks. This is the new life insurance kicking in when life happens, not when you die. If you don't take nothing else from this, that's what I want you to take. The new life insurance kicks in at the point that you need it, not when you die. All right, let's keep on going. When it comes to the critical illness, now some of the critical illnesses are aorta graft surgery, aplastic anemia, blindness in both eyes, but it has to be greater than 220, 200, cancer, cystic fibrosis, the ALS, end-stage renal failure, a litany of things. You still get up to 80% of your death benefit while you're still alive. Again, if you're going through all of that, right? And that's what I want you to understand. If you're going through all of that, again, you're not going to be able to work. You're going to be somewhere. How helpful would it be to be able to get up to 80% of your death benefit while you're still alive? All right. And then the other one we'll talk about, the critical injury. Again, if you're in a coma, paralysis, severe burns, or traumatic brain injury, you'll get access to these products. Now, here we go again. This is why it's important for you to make sure that you have the new life insurance. And let me help you. Your job does not have this insurance. It does not. And I can tell you, most of my competitors, matter of fact, 99% of my competitors do not have these products because they don't work with the carriers that we work with. So with that being said, that's how Rod Hickman's Generational Wealth Builders and our affiliate brokers, that's how they're able to help you save, grow, and make money. We're able to make sure your family's protected no matter what when it comes to that. So think about it. We all want to be prepared for when we take that walk to the upper room. But how many of you know it's also a wonderful thing to be prepared should something happen, right? Should a sickness come upon you, right? And again, we pray health, we pray that on everybody. But again, at the same time, let's be real. It's a lot of stuff going on out here. Watch this. It ain't even got to be nothing that you did. What if you're just minding your business, driving to work, and somebody T-bones you? And now all of a sudden you can't work. What's going to happen then? Short-term disability ain't going to get it. You waiting on the ambulance chaser to do that. That's going to, again, bills and stuff like that going to pile up. What about your home? Right? So our clients that have the new life insurance, that have the hashtag living bennies, they are protected because, again, they're covered if multiple circumstances happen that don't have to be death. And that's what we want you to understand. So again, with that being said, that's my time tonight. I'm under 15 minutes, y'all. I'm going to try to keep it like that. I really, really want you all to consider. Don't just take my word for it. Go pull out your policy. Go call your insurance provider. Say, hey, fam, look at here. Do I have the living bennies on my policy? And if you do, tell them to tell you what the living bennies are, right? Like I say, most people, especially if you're with what we call the legacy insurers, like the big names, Partial State, City Farm, y'all know what I'm talking about, Tyrannical Mutual, you know what I'm talking about? Again, I hope you pick it up, right? Again, but either way, most of their policies really don't have that. And therefore, they cannot compete with what it is that we have. Because understand, what we are, we're a wholesaler. I'm an insurance wholesaler. So there are very few people that can compete with me. Let me just say it like that. And I'm grateful for that. And most of the people that are competing with me are the people that work with me. So take that for what it will. So I don't mind that competition. But either way, I want you to know that the power of the new life insurance is not something that you should sleep on. Husbands, sit down with your wives and ask them the question, what happens if I get sick? Again, not talking about death. What happens if I get sick? What happens if you get sick? What happens to the kids? How does our life change? These are the conversations we don't want to have, but we need to have, folks. Again, this is how we put GoFundMe's to rest, right? Times are hard on the boulevard. Folk aren't giving the way they used to. Don't have your posterity depending on how well or if someone is willing to give or not, right? You want to make sure that your family is taken care of. And the simplest way for you to do that is to book an appointment with us. All you have to do, whatever platform you see me on, just inbox me. Say, hey, Rod, I want to talk about them hashtag living bennies. You need to make sure that you're protected. You need to make sure that your family is protected. And here's one of the things that we do. We make sure even our children are protected. My baby has a policy on her. She has living bennies. Why? Because stuff is happening to children now more so than the grown folk, right? So you need to make sure that your whole family is protected. Again, if something should happen, you want to make sure that you're not worried about money, but that you can worry about recovering and what if it's helping whoever it is. That's what you want to focus on more than anything else. You want to be able to focus on your family members, not whether or not you still got to go to work because you don't want them to come repossess something, right? How many people are out here struggling, losing homes and everything because a sickness came upon them? There's already a statistic out there that said most people, if $1,000 came in, they couldn't. If $1,000 emergency arise, they could not handle that out of their own account. They'd have to go and get a loan of some sort. They'd have to seek some sort of outside support. So what we're saying is, again, if sickness come in, again, you don't want to be in a position where you can't protect your family, right? And that's what we're saying here. Last but not least, Alzheimer's. None of us know who is going to be smitten by Alzheimer's, and it is a ugly, ugly, ugly disease. And these are the conversations that I have with my clients. And y'all got to understand one thing about me. I'm going to tell you the truth, right? I'm not going to sugarcoat something. I'm not going to candy coat something, because guess what? When life blasts you in the mouth, it doesn't do it with a powder puff glove. It blasts you in the mouth. A lot of the time, what ends up happening is children that become caregivers of their parents get frustrated. They get overwhelmed. And what ends up happening is, because they have to care for that loved one, they find themselves getting frustrated, because now it takes from their life, it takes from what it is that they're doing and how they're living their life. And while, yes, they say, I love my mom, I love pops, I don't mind doing it. They don't. But at the same time, it's taking life from you, because you're watching your loved one, the one who brought you into this world, the one who raised you up, the one who you saw as a source of strength, you now see them begin to waste away. And it has an impact on you. People don't like to say it, but it's the truth. Been there. And then what happens is, when you have to deal with that individual day after day after day, slowly you start saying, man, won't you just go on? You slowly start wishing that they just gone on. You'll never say it. You'll never verbalize it, but you're just wishing they're gone on. Why? Because Alzheimer's is so debilitating. Do you not know that is something that makes you uninsurable? So if you wait till you get a diagnosis of Alzheimer's, you won't get insured, because Alzheimer's is so severe. Listen to me. It can cause people to forget how to breathe. Alzheimer's is ugly. But here we go again. That's the purpose of having a policy with living benefits. You make sure that your parents have these policies, so that, God forbid, if your parent is diagnosed with Alzheimer's, you can get them into a suitable facility where they can get the kind of care and dignity treatment that they need, the kind of treatment that they need to keep their dignity. And you don't have to live with that trauma of watching your parent just decline. That's what we do. That's what the living benefits provide. And so this is why it's important. We want to make sure that everyone is properly protected. The last thing I'll say is this. I know we don't blow 15 minutes, but here we go. The last thing I'll say is this right here, folks. Think about it like this. This goes back to my original point. If every family, every working adult had a minimum of $500,000 worth of life insurance, and if they get up to 80% of the death benefit, that means that they get $400,000 tax-free cash money, should something happen, up to, right? That'll allow a family to potentially pay off their mortgage. Again, depending on what your situation is. You could pay off your mortgage, or you at least have money to continue to pay your mortgage. You can make sure that your bills stay up. You can make sure you get the necessary medicine, the necessary treatments that your family member needs in order to preserve their life. That's what the new life insurance does. And so again, I know there are a lot of legacy companies out there. There are. And a lot of people are like, yeah, I've been doing business with such and such for years. Yes, you have. But here's the thing. If you and your policy does not have the living benefits where it is the terminal that's up to 24 months out, where it has the terminal illness, the critical illness, the chronic illness, and the critical injury, plus the Alzheimer's, are they really doing you a service? And here's the thing. The sad part about it is it doesn't cost you anything. For most of our carriers, this is standard. And here's the thing. I can still beat most people's prices. The only way I won't beat your price, watch this. You've already had that policy for about 5-10 years. That's about the only way I won't beat the price. Just tell you. And I'll tell you another trick people do, especially with term, and this burns me up. Do not accept a 20-year term. If the term goes 30 years, get the 30-year term. Right? I know, well, my budget time. Listen, stop getting them Frappuccinos. Stop buying them bundles. Stop buying them Jordans. Get the extended amount of term that you can. We have a carrier, goes out 35 years. That's the policy that you maximize, especially if you're young. Listen, for all my young folk, listen, if you are, Jesus, if you're 35 and under, get a meal ticket. Get you $1 million term policy. And then we're going to get you a permanent policy to grow your cash value. That's not what we're talking about tonight. Because watch this. If you got $1 million policy, and depending on the severity of what you go through, you can get up to $800,000 tax-free right there to help you go through what you're going through. For the low. Why would you get a 20-year policy? All that's going to do that after that 20 years, now you're going to have to renew the policy. Well, guess what happened? You're older now. So now that you're older, guess what? That policy is going to cost more money. So you're going to do one or two things. Well, I don't want to pay no more than $75 a month. Well, guess what they're going to do to your coverage? It's going to drop down. Those are the games people play just because they pander to you just to get a cheap policy. That's not what we do. That's not what the wealth builders do. What we want to make sure is that when we walk out of your home, you feel protected. You feel like, God forbid, if anything should happen, I'm going to be good. Rod them put me on deck. That's how we want you to feel. And that's how our clients feel. Our clients have told, man, look, bro, I appreciate you. Man, you got me on straight. I have repeat customers. I have a customer right now has entrusted me to insure his baby boy. Hey, Rod, I want you to do this, that, and that. Got you, big dog. Again, that's what we do because we are looking out for you. Because it makes no sense. It's my heart, if I can just be honest. And I'm out for real because I got to go eat. It breaks my heart when I see a family that's going through something, whereas an insurance policy could have come in and gave them the money that they need. It breaks my heart. I mean, I literally am like, when I hear something has happened, my first two thoughts are, oh no, that's so sad. And I wonder if they were covered. I wonder if somebody inconvenienced them enough to say, hey man, look, you need the new life insurance, not this old jazz. I wonder now what that family is going to go through because now they're having to figure it out. And now their new normal is poverty. Their new normal is stress. Their new normal is we got to take out a second mortgage on the house if they're homeowners, right? And that's only if they haven't already had to take out a second mortgage on the home, right? Now they start selling stuff, saying camper sold. all these other things. All that is because one sickness comes in. And can I help you? Another statistic, one of the top 3 reasons why Americans file bankruptcy is because of medical bills. Sickness and medical bills are one of the primary reasons why families file for bankruptcy. That's it. Because the medical bills come in, they're trying to keep the home. They're trying to keep the car. They're trying to get protection. And now, because of that one incident, they now have had to go through this terrible situation, this terrible ordeal. So, folks, that's my time for real this time. That's my time. That's what goes on in my heart. Listen, we're here. Our goal is to help you protect your family. Our goal is to help you make sure that in the worst times of your life, you know very well that you're in good hands. You know very well that somebody is going to take care of you. You know somebody that has the stones to fight for you is going to be there and make sure that, God forbid, if the worst should happen, that again, we're right there bringing hope. Because when we come, if it's a critical illness, when we come bringing money. If it's something, fatal, when we come, we bringing a check. We ain't just coming with condolences. We're coming to bring hope, to say, hey, here's the love letter from the great beyond, from your loved one. That's what we're here for. And let me knock wood. I thank God I ain't had to do that yet. My clients are healthy. Pray God. Pray for each one of them. However, I want you to understand that doesn't mean that tomorrow won't be a day where it could change. You want to make sure that you're properly protected. And that's why we want you to have the new life insurance. So again, no, I said a lot. I hope you all will like, share. I hope you all will let somebody know, hey, there that wild man go again. He's out there. He'll say just about anything, but what he be saying really makes a little bit of sense. I hope that you would share that with somebody so that they can make sure that their family's protected. Again, thoughts and prayers. Yeah, prayers are necessary, but it don't do nothing for the brain. It don't do nothing to keep a roof over your head. It does absolutely nothing. So again, that's my time tonight. May the Lord bless y'all. Y'all take care. Remember, knowledge is not power until it is applied, right? You can have an 18-wheeler truck that's full of gas, but till you put it into gear, it ain't going nowhere. I'm your man, Rod Hickman, Generational Wealth Builders, where poverty ends with us. Until next time, y'all have a good night. May the Lord bless you. And again, y'all, come on now, do me a favor. Help your boy out. Like, share, tell somebody, call us, whatever the case may be. All right. Love y'all. Have a good night.